Well, if I remember at the end of this, I'm going to put a title down and it's going to be Booking the Trend with Roigenc and Dolce Divas. That's Dolce Divas. You can hopefully hear them in the background. Claire Harkness-Poe singing beautifully soprano, classical music of course, and being accompanied by Kirsty Glenn, who is a classical pianist as well. So that's Booking the Trend, because all the videos I've done so far have been without music, but I thought, hey, I'm going to try it a little bit and see if this improves the quality of the DVDs from me, Colin Harkness. Yes, you've guessed that already, of course, and I'm talking about the wonders, the delights of Spanish wine. Now, in some particular way, I suppose you could say I'm jumping the gun here. I'm shortly going to be doing a radio program, that's Total FM 91.8 if you're in the area where we're broadcasting, but of course you can pick it up on internet all over the world. That's www.totalfm.es. 2 weeks today, that's on the 26th of June, I'll be doing a rosé expose program. We've got a rosé here, so in some ways I'm jumping the gun, but I'm not too bothered. I wanted to actually talk about this particular wine today, and I'm sure I'll be talking about it again on my radio program in 2 weeks' time. Why else am I booking the trend today? Well, I'm booking the trend, as I've just said, because of the musical aspect to this particular video, which hopefully you can still hear and you're still enjoying. But I'm also booking the trend because that's what this particular bodega is doing as well. The bodega is Cellars Campo Fons Osso. That's a bit of a mouthful, so's the wine as well. But that's not the reason it's booking the trend. Well, I suppose you could say it is in a way, but the main reason it's booking the trend is because of its colour. Look at this colour. I know the lighting's not so great, so you won't be able to see it too well, but you're probably thinking, what is this guy talking about? This isn't a rosé wine. This has to be called a red wine. Okay, a little bit lighter than some of the dark reds, but red enough. No, it's the other way around. This is a particularly dark style of rosé wine. And that's why it's booking the trend, because in Spain at the moment, it's June 2016, there's quite a fashion of following the rather paler coloured wines, you might call them Provençal rosés, because of that very pale. Of course, Spain is very quick to catch on market-wise, and it's realising that this sort of colour, pale colour, is very popular, and so because of that there are a number of bodegas throughout Spain who are copying this style. They're being a little bit more fashionable, but this particular bodega, it's Cellars Campo Fons Osso, and it actually comes from Denominación de Origen Montsant. Now, they are not following the fashion at all. What they're doing in actual fact is saying, no, this is how we make our rosé wine, like it or lump it. Well, out of those two, what do? Well, I certainly like it. It's an interesting wine. It's made with Syrah. You can see it's quite dark, and there's a little bit of a tannic element to it, which you don't normally pick up in rosé wines. Why? Well, because, of course, this juice, the juice that made this wine, has been left with the skins for longer than is usual, certainly with the Provençal, very pale style rosados, but also generally for longer than a rosé would be in Spain as well. Of course, many of you know this already, that the reason that a rosé is the colour it is because it's left in contact, the juice is left in contact with the skins during the maceration period for a longer time than if it was going to be a pale rosado, but not long enough, although it's close in this particular case, not long enough for it to be a red wine, because rosé wine is made, of course, with black grapes, the black grapes which are commonly used, usually used, for making red wine. In fact, this one is made with 100% Syrah, and of course that's a fairly dark-skinned grape, and it picks up some of that colour here. But that's not the only reason why we leave the juice with skins. Flavour, aroma, and also some tannin comes from the skins as well, and that's what you can pick out in this particular wine. Now, it's described on the website as having a red sky at night sort of colour, and I'm thinking to myself about the old warning in a way, Red Sky at Night, Shepherd's Delight. Well, in this case, it's Red Sky at Night, Wine Lover's Delight, because it's a delightful wine. It's got that full-bodied feel, really, in the mouth, certainly flavour as well. It's a Rosado, but it's a Rosado which has more depth, a little bit more of a tannic element, and because of that, it can last a little bit longer. Now, this is the 2013 version. I've got to tell you, it's starting to lose its fruit. The alcohol is still there. There's an acidity to it, and that's good because we need it to be fresh. The fruit is there, but it's starting to wane a little bit. What I would do is look for the 2014, which should be in the shop soon. And then following that, go on with a lot of them, 2015 going through, because it's bucking the trend. It's a really nice Rosado. It comes from an area which is called Dio Montsant. Dio Montsant. This used to be known as the Falsat zone of Dio Tarragona. They decided, look, our wines are distinctive enough to be given a Dio of our own. We're going to call it Montsant. Please grant it to us, so they said to the Ministry of Agriculture in Spain. After a long period of discussion, etc., they decided to grant them that wish. I'm in favour of it because it distinguishes them from Dio Tarragona, some good wines from Dio Tarragona, but it links them a little bit more closely with the area whose vineyards are next door, and that is the area of Priorat. I'm sure you've heard of that. So, bucking the trend with Roigenc, that's what the wine is called, and in the background you heard Dolce Divas with Claire Harkness Post and Kirsty Glenn. Enjoy them both, please. Adios.